In 2016, a mysterious object was discovered in Bolivia that has left researchers baffled. The object looks like a giant metal ball, about 13 inches in diameter, and it has no visible markings on it. It looks smooth, shiny, and almost perfectly round. This strange discovery has led many people to believe it could be an alien artifact, but there are other theories out there too. It was found by a group of researchers who were exploring an ancient ruin in the Bolivian jungle. The site is called Pumapunku, which is also known as the Gate of the Gods. It is an archaeological site high up in the mountains with a series of stone structures that appear to have been crafted with incredible precision. Researchers don't know much about the site because it was only discovered in 2014. Some say the location was intentionally hidden for hundreds of years. It's possible that the structures at Pumapunku date back to the time of the Inca Empire. But some say they may be even older than that. There are some who believe the site may be thousands of years old and may have been built by a highly advanced civilization that came before the Inca. But nobody really knows what's going on here. And that's why everyone is so confused by this weird metallic sphere. The team that discovered it had no idea what it was. They took it back to their lab to try and figure out its origin. Scientists used X-rays and other technologies to examine the sphere, but they couldn't find any way to identify it. They say it doesn't match up with any known objects or tools that humans have made in the past. What we do know is that it appears to be hollow, though scientists aren't sure how they know this. It seems that one of the researchers actually hit it with a hammer. Now they have a small hole in it. They looked inside with a camera and saw that it's empty. Nobody knows if the sphere was always empty or if it was filled with something in the past that has since decayed. It is currently being stored in a lab in Florida, and it is hoped that new technology will one day help unravel its mysteries. For now, it's impossible to say what it is or where it came from. One of the most popular theories is that it could be some kind of ancient technology from a long-lost civilization. Proponents of this theory say that it was probably used by the people who built Pumapunku and other similar sites. However, there is absolutely no evidence that any kind of advanced technology existed in this region during pre-Columbian times. There is also no evidence that the people who lived here had access to metals like copper or tin. So, it's unlikely that they would have been able to make such an object. This brings us to the next theory, which is that it's an alien artifact. This is the most popular theory among fringe researchers. They say the sphere is proof that aliens visited Earth in the distant past. These researchers point out that it looks similar to certain alien artifacts that have been found all over the world. Unfortunately, we don't have any real evidence that aliens ever visited Earth, let alone that they would have visited South America. So, what is this weird metal sphere? We may never know for sure, but it's safe to say that it's not from this planet. Number 9. The Baghdad Battery. In 1936, an Iraqi museum curator was unpacking artifacts that had been recently excavated. He came across a collection of clay jars buried at the ancient site of Dura Europos. He was surprised to find that the jars had metal tubes inside them. At first he thought they might be some kind of ancient medical device. But after further examination, he realized they were actually batteries. They were created by wrapping a copper tube around a clay core and sealing it with wax. A second piece of metal was then inserted into the tube, creating an electrochemical reaction. The batteries were incredibly primitive, but they did serve a purpose. It's believed that they were used to coat precious metals like gold and silver. The coating process required electricity, and that's where these early batteries came in. The problem is that we don't know how the ancient Mesopotamians figured out how to make batteries. We also don't know exactly how they used them. It is hard to believe that ancient humans would have been smart enough to understand complex scientific concepts like electrochemistry. Even if they did, it's unlikely that they would have used such primitive methods to coat precious metals. What do you think? Are these really ancient batteries, or is there another explanation? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time. Bye.